this is gonna be both. Honestly, like it already started out. We're just gonna cut in between, get right to it.
Let's do it.
How you feeling, bro? Everything
Chilling,
good?
man. How you doing?
I'm doing real good. I'm excited we doing this.
Yes, sir.
Let's do a quick introduction. Welcome back to the Cozy Show. We got a whole new format, Cozyseazon edition. We're gonna do some interviews with some very important people that I've been working with. I've known for a long time. The first one we have today, I got my boy Nate, CEO, owner, fashion designer, entrepreneur.
Let's go. Microphone check. 1, 2.
What?
It is.
Word, but give him a quick
like,
introduction, bro.
Alright, so my name is Nate. I am a business management major, and I started Dangerbrand like a year and a half ago. Yeah, it's been running it ever since.
Yeah, bro. Let's go back to that. Let's get right to it.
So I distinctly, well, I guess the name Danger comes from just the fact that, you know, I had always wanted to work in the I always wanted to work in manufacturing. And when you're in those plants, that's the one word you see all the time because it catches your eye. Like everywhere you go, they care about safety, so you see danger a lot. Yeah. So in my head, I was like, oh, that's like a cool, like, you can't help but look at it because it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's the word danger. But then also I thought like another cool way to think of it is everyone has that one thing that they think that like they're dangerous in, you know what I mean? Like my mom probably thinks she could like cook the best vegan food on the planet, or there's some people who think that they're the best at 2K or whatever. Like for me personally, you know, I played sports in high school, but also played a lot of instruments.
Okay.
A lot of people saw me as like a football player, but I personally felt I was more dangerous with a trombone than I was on the field.
Yo, I played trombone too.
Oh, it's tough. I didn't even know that.
Y'all had a sign up. I just took it down. Keep calm, play trombone.
That's tough.
Feel me, man? Alright. I mean, so daring to be dangerous, man.
Yeah, so danger was always kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like just whatever that thing is that you think you do the best, just, you know what I'm saying, either just show people that you can do that thing or just pursue it.
So you took that and you ran with it pretty much.
I kind of ran with it. Honestly, it all started off. It was spring break, and I had just got my refund check.
Okay.
So I was about to do some online shopping, you know what I'm saying?
You're a college student.
I'm a college kid, so when the refund check comes in, you know what I'm saying, you gotta get clothes or whatever. I'm a big sneakerhead, so I have a lot of shoes. So sometimes it's hard to find the right clothes to match the shoes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And I'm a simple guy, like I like my shoes to be the main like standout of the fit.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter what the top looks like. And you know, I'm over here on all these different websites, adding all the stuff in my cart, and I'm just shopping around, and I'm like, I'm really about to blow my whole check on clothes that like I don't really want, but it's like it's not really what I see in my head, but it matches close enough.
Right.
And I was like, why do that when I can just make my own shit? I could wear my own shit, you know what I'm saying? Like It doesn't like it doesn't matter what other people think about how it looks, because to me I'm making it for myself.
And I could say this from the minute it started, you know, you probably have a different answer of how quick it started to pick up, but from what I seen, it was like from spring break and probably for that first event that we had at the, you know, MSU.
Oh yeah, it definitely.
It started picking up crazy.
Yeah, so I just started making shirts for myself. Mm-hmm. And then my boys here at the edge where we lived, they were like, "Yo, like, where you getting the stuff from?" And I was like, "Oh, like I'm just making myself clothes just because I'm a simple guy when it comes to clothes. I like my shoes so I just wanted just a simple logo, you know what I mean? Different colors. I could just throw anything on. I don't have to think about it." And they're like, "Yo, make me one." And I'm like, "All right, but you gotta throw a little bit of bread because I gotta buy the shirts. I gotta, you know what I'm saying?"
Business.
At this time, before I started making the shirts, I thought, let me go to one of those t-shirt websites and just make a couple shirts. Mm-hmm. But I went on the websites and I realized that like you can't just order 1 or 2 shirts. They make you order like a minimum of 50 to 100.
Like in bulk.
In bulk of one color, and it's like I'm not gonna order 100 shirts of the same color when I could just go to the store and get whatever colors I want whenever I want and make it myself. So I just took initiative on that spring break, and I taught myself how to screen press. So that's kind of where it all started. And it's funny because people say a lot like they say what you learn in school you don't ever like use in real life, and it kind of felt like that. But it's weird because now I'm doing the brand, like everything I'm learning in my business classes and just throughout getting my degree in business, like I'm using that for it, and it's been helping out immensely.
So that's awesome. So you were a business major even before Danger was conceived.
Before Danger was conceived.
So it's kind of like, you know, your old life meeting your new life, and y'all working together in a way.
I mean, I had always kind of been into fashion, you know what I mean, as much as a black suburban kid could be, you know what I mean. Right. I saw both. I lived in the city, but I went to a suburban school, so it's like I kind of saw both fashion styles, so I was able to mix and match really well and fit in between. So I'd always kind of been into fashion, you know. I feel like me and my friends back in school, we were always kind of fashion forward. Someone I really look up to is Tyler, the Creator. Yeah. For multiple reasons. But one of the reasons was just he wore whatever he wanted to wear, and he didn't care what other people thought. And I took that and ran with it. So I remember just wearing whatever I wanted, just looking up, you know, sneakers that people didn't think were cool, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just wearing it, but that was like my swag, you know what I mean? Like it was my swag to dress different than everyone else, and I had always been doing that. Yeah, and
it seems like it definitely, you know, that idea in itself, it carries over into the brand. If you had sort of a, you know, a motto that you go by in the brand, what would that be?
Man, if I had a motto to go with the brand, that's a good question.
I know I hear stay dangerous.
I say dare to be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It sounds catchy. I stay dangerous. You know what I mean? Things like that. But I mean, the brand. I feel like, to me, the brand speaks for itself, in a way. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I feel like because it's not just a logo, the same logo on different garments, that it doesn't need to have anything gimmicky, or not saying like having a model is gimmicky, but it's like once you start putting labels and start putting, you know, quotes and things like that on your clothes, then that's all it becomes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can see that. And tying back into, you know, you just starting out, you got the screen pressing. And you just said Danger. It's kind of more than just the name. It's more than just the clothing, more than just a brand. Talk about your beginning stages of it when you finally starting to say, hey, this is season 1 of Danger, we're selling this now. What was the experience like? Some highs, some lows?
Oh, man. So it's definitely a roller coaster. So I remember when I first started selling the shirts, I remember I hit people, like my friends up to take some pictures from the thing. I think you were like one of the first pictures.
Yeah.
Jalen was one of the first pictures. Yeah. Jaquise. So just my close friends, you know what I'm saying? Which is expected. Right. Everyone was telling me that your first customer is going to be your friends. But in my head, I wanted to break out of that group. Not that I didn't appreciate the love, but it's like, you guys are going to love me no matter what. So what do I need to do to get outside of that group? And in my head, I'm like, would I go out and buy someone's t-shirt that costs the same amount that, like, if I went to the mall to buy like an actual reputable brand t-shirt, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why would I spend $35 on your shirt when I don't know who you are, when I can go get a Nike shirt that's a classic Nike shirt that's gonna look good with anything for $35? Right. So you had to make a decision. In my head, I was like, is this brand really about making money, or is it really about just making dope clothes? So that's the whole that's where the $5 t-shirt came from. Yeah. I was making, off every shirt, I was really only making a few bucks, and I was just using that for like gas money and food and stuff like that. So I wasn't really making a profit. And technically I wasn't making a profit because I wasn't paying myself for labor. Okay. You gotta pay, like, one thing I learned over time is that even though you're making money back, is that money you're making back worth the time that you spent to make the clothes? You know what I mean? Okay. So it's like a efficiency type of thing. Yeah, it's like efficiency. And that's definitely also something I learned, but we'll get to that. Of course. So the $5 t-shirts, you know, in my head I'm just like, it's cheap enough that if someone sees it, they're gonna be able to spend $5 on it, even if they don't wear it out in public. It's definitely a shirt they could just throw on. You know what I'm saying, when they're chilling in the crib, or throwing on when they go work out, or something. Especially when they see other people, you know. That was I don't know if you remember, like, the way I was campaigning it, but I was literally using other people to sell it for me. And when I say that, I mean every time someone made a sale, I would make sure I shout them out on Instagram. Okay. And then they would go and repost it. And, you know, we're a big university, but a lot of people know each other. So I feel like it was kind of a domino effect Once one person saw it, their friends were like, "Oh, what's this?" And then they went and they only spent $5 for a shirt. Why not? It's $5. I posted them, and then it was a trickle effect. Before you know it, there was weeks where I was selling 20 shirts a week. And like I said,
That's
like
crazy.
if I had charged $45 for the if I had charged $45 for the shirts or 25, even that, like I feel like I wouldn't have sold as much.
And y'all got to keep in mind as well, like this is him right after conceiving the idea and putting his own bread up. To make it happen. This wasn't any type of loan. This wasn't
it wasn't.
Begging.
This was. I knew that I needed market penetration. That's one thing we talk about a lot in business is how do you make yourself different from other people. It's a crowded market. There's a lot of people who have clothing brands. A lot of people who want to do this. So if I go and do the same exact thing that they do, how am I going to be able to stand out from them?
Ties into another great question I have. What do you say to those people that come up to you and may say, I'm starting up my own brand. They look at yours and they think it's going to be like, I can blow it up just like you did.
At first, I'm not going to lie, I kind of took it as like disrespect. Because it's like, I feel like, it's kind of like how rappers say, like, you only see me when I'm partying, but you don't see the other 90% of the time when I'm in the studio.
Yeah, for real.
Trying to finish a verse or, you know what I'm saying, like long nights, early mornings.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it felt. Like, I was literally working, like, my own job. I was doing school, you know what I'm saying? I was in a relationship. And then I was still devoting time to the brand, plus I played rugby. So it was like, any free time I had, I was devoting to that. Not saying that it wasn't, like, I didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I was passionate enough to do it, but everyone needs a break every once in a while. So it's like, the people who were coming up to me, like, I know you're not willing to put in the time that I'm willing to put in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Agreed, yeah.
But I feel like you're looking at what I'm doing as it's easy.
Because you make it look
I feel like I don't want to too much. Like, I feel like
you're gifted, bro.
I mean, it speaks for itself.
And we're just on season 1. You branched out to a lot of different things, so.
So at first I took it as like disrespect, but then after a while I was like, I was in that spot one time too, and I didn't have that guidance. So maybe somebody really does want to do it, you know what I mean? But they don't have someone to go to, and if they see one of their, you know, like I might not be their friend, but if they see someone who's in their age group or goes to the same school as them is doing it,
right? Yeah.
Like, I feel like we should all grow together. Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like, I'm not scared of competition because I know my brand is unique enough. I know I do enough to separate myself from others. Right. If you have a graphic on your t-shirt and I just have a t-shirt with a graphic on it, I might not spill the beans on what you need to do because we can be competing with each other. But I know that my stuff is good enough that even if I tell you all my secrets, you may not be able to pull off what I'm pulling off. So at that point, I just started get like whoever needed help with anything, I would give whatever help I could. So yeah, I just started to just be helpful, just be an outlet. And it's weird because it's like I feel like once I started being an outlet and once I started giving back, it's almost like karma started blessing me more.
Yeah, bro.
It's like
collaboration.
Like it's crazy how that worked.
Yeah.
So I was doing the $5 t-shirts, the screen press. And when I look back on those shirts, like, it was cool, but they were all the same. The only difference was the colors.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, all right, if I have the same logo, just different color shirts, how do I sell it and make it look cool? And at the time, I was taking a intro to photography class. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of just taking the same picture of the same shirt, I'm going to grab different people and just try to make, you know what I'm saying, make the scene.
Yeah, man.
So that's why like a lot of my first pictures were just people, you know what I'm saying, like just people modeling, and I feel like that helped it look more than just a, you know what I'm saying, like it gave it an edge instead of it just being a shirt with a logo on it.
Right.
And then I had like a big photo shoot at the end, and that was really great. So I was thinking about what I wanted to do next, and this was like towards the end of, I guess I would say, of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I was starting to get people starting to DM me like, yo, I washed your shirt, it's starting to crack, it wasn't the best quality shirt. And in my head I'm like yo, it was a $5 shirt. In my head I'm like, it's a $5 shirt. It was more for you to just know that I'm a brand on campus. But at the same time I'm like, that's no excuse.
They probably, so I could see they're probably, you could look at it one way, like one, how you just did.
Yeah.
And then two is like, people are wearing this.
Yeah.
They want to wear it more
That's
often.
that's I was talking to my mom about it, and I was like, Mom, like, they're $5 shirts. Why are people tripping about them cracking? Like, it's literally a $5 shirt. And she was like, well, they want to wear it. If they wouldn't be tripping, if, you know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't be tripping if they didn't care about it. They would just throw it away or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, that's true. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a conscious effort to step up my quality. And then that's when I got into embroidery. A lot of people told me it was a huge, big step, and looking back on it, it was a big step. But I'm happy I made that leap. And I gotta thank my mother. Her and I were just talking about embroidery, and literally the next day she sent me an email. She ordered me my first embroidery machine. It was like a small little
That's
like sewing. You know what I'm saying? It was a small little sewing embroidery machine. But she was like, she saw some video about this entrepreneur who was making clothes, and he was talking about how his mom bought him his first embroidery machine, and then it took off from there. And that's literally what happened. I used her machine more of like a stepping stool, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where I did my trial and error. That's where that you having the machine aided in me learning more about the process for embroidery. And had she not had it, I don't know where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know the direction I would have went in.
So you say, I say, when you got that embroidery machine, it gave you at least more time to conceive a different idea.
Yeah.
We're going from the first design to what we're talking about now.
So the thing about embroidery, I'm not going to bore you to death about this, but the thing about embroidery is...
They need to know it anyway.
Yeah. The thing about embroidery is it's more about time. So the first machine I got, the highest stitches per minute it would do was 700 stitches. So the like a regular size Danger logo, and I was new at the time, so I wasn't efficient at all.
Okay.
I was like very inefficient, but like it would take me to make like a small size shirt. It would take me like an hour and a half to make a small size shirt. But I was only selling a shirt for $15. So it's like, is that hour and a half worth $15 of my time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I could be spending the hour and a half like working a real job or something. So
okay.
That was definitely a sacrifice I had to make. In my head, I was like, you know what? I know I'm spending. If someone ordered 2 shirts, that's 3 hours out of my day just to make 2 shirts, and I was selling them for $25. So it was like 3 hours of my day for $25. So, and it was using a lot of thread. Like I didn't. Yeah. These were all things that I learned along the way.
So you said.
But then so because of that, that made me look into getting like an actual like commercial embroidery machine, because when you get a bigger machine, the reason why it costs so much more is because it has a higher stitch count per minute. So the one she got me was 700. The one I have now does 1200. So even if I did the same logo, you can see how drastically that'll cut down the time in between it.
So yeah, man.
So yeah, that
mean, probably kicked it up in the high gear.
It definitely did, and I think the biggest reason for my success is because of the fact that I own all my stuff.
I want you to talk about that a lot more, about ownership, and
like,
especially as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, like that. I don't. The only thing I rely on that's like not on me is to actually buy the garments. Everything else I do myself. All the stitching, the heat press, the coloring, the applique, all the designs, I do everything myself. So if I'm at work and I'm like, oh, that would be a dope ass idea, I don't have to go email somebody, yo, do you think you could do this, that, and the third? I could just go right home, test it out. If it looks good, I keep it. If it doesn't, then I know it looks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
That to me is priceless. Obviously, it cost me a lot. I had to invest a lot for me to get the embroidery machine, to get the heat press, to get the Cricut machine, to, you know what I'm saying, to get all this stuff. It was a lot of overhead. But in my opinion, had I not had that stuff, it would have been so much harder for me to progress, so much harder for me to try things, so much harder for me to just have like the artistic freedom, which I really wanted. And
the rooms you can be in as well when you meet with people.
That's what I'm saying.
All this, like the stuff you're teaching me right now and teaching them. You know, when you're meeting and you plan on investing even more.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to say, oh, I gotta link you with this person.
Yeah,
he does
exactly.
my stuff. He does that.
Like, so for example, I've met people in the past who have done music, and they're like, oh, do you think you can make me just make me a few shirts just so I can see what it looks like?
Right.
So that they don't have to go to another company and order 50 to 100 shirts. I can just make them 2 or 3. We could work a deal or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because of that, I've been exactly,
For real.
and that's also I know that. I mean, to me, the Dangerbrand isn't. I mean, it's a clothing business, but to me, it's more of like a therapeutic. Like, it keeps my mind moving, so that when I get into the real world and I'm in the cycle of working and paying bills and all that shit, I know that I can get away from that.
Yeah.
And be creative. So, if things were not to go well, I know that I'll be able to fall back on just having a business where I can make custom things for people.
Absolutely.
So that's why I was like, it's a good investment because if the brand doesn't work out, I still have the machinery where I can make money off of it.
Building your own skills, building your own equity.
Exactly.
And I want to talk about something you brought up like very quickly, and I'm glad you said it. Earlier in the interview, you said, is it worth going after the money, or is it worth kind of building my own and being able to make my own clothes?
Like I think that's what kills people's brands the most. Obviously, I follow a lot of brands on the page, and there's a lot of brands who they put out. It seems like they put out the same stuff like over and over.
Right.
But then they overcharge for it, and it's like I understand you see that Supreme shirts are selling for $135. Supreme's been doing this for 20 plus years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just starting out. Like Supreme is Supreme for a reason.
Word.
You can't charge the same prices as you know what I'm saying? I'm not Nike. I humbly know and respect that I'm not Nike. So I can't price the same stuff. Nike can put out a hoodie with a small embroider patch like this for like $50. If I was to do that same thing, nobody would buy my stuff. You know what I mean? So
right.
I feel like you gotta just be humble and you gotta realize that like taking a loss, taking a cut with the money at first is gonna help your brand grow. I wasn't making any money with those $5 t-shirts. I was making little to nothing. But had I not done that, I wouldn't have had the market penetration that I do now for me to be able to grow to where I am now.
And you got the journey along the way.
And I had the journey along the way.
Exactly. So, season 1 down, season 2, you're in a new embroidery machine. You got many more designs, many more photo shoots. So that's probably, now we're getting toward the end of 2019, and now we're hitting 2020 with 2020. Everything happening and going on. How were you able to keep your brain alive and actually be even more productive this season than ever before?
Oh, man. Well, there were a few things that I thought were weird. The first thing is my business, increased when COVID hit. I honestly thought it was gonna decrease. I thought I might go out of business only because it seemed like the other brands that I was following weren't doing well.
Right.
It seemed like everyone else was it seemed like people were posting these things where it was give 10, you give to their brand just to show yourself, they're posting this stuff. So I'm like, they must not be doing well if they're asking people for free money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
for sure,
business was going well. People were buying my stuff, and it wasn't just the people I know. I think that's what going from 2019 to 2020, when I started doing hoodies.
Right. My personal
when I started doing the classic hoodies, that's when I started realizing that people were actually like my stuff that aren't people I know or people I know who I know, if that makes sense.
People that know
random people I've never met before find my stuff. I was shipping things out to Jersey, I was shipping things out to New Hampshire, I was shipping things out to Cali. I was random places I don't know anybody at. People were messing with my stuff. So but I mean, it was tough at times. I had this thing that I was doing where every week I would put out 2 new hoodies that match the color of sneakers. But when COVID hit, it was hard for me to get my supply of materials as fast as I needed them. So I think it was every Tuesday I was doing, or every Wednesday. So I would drop the hoodies on Wednesday. Between Thursday and Friday, I would figure out what shoes I wanted to do next. I'll have to find a thread and order the color hoodies and try to get it all in by Monday so I can make them by Wednesday. Right. But with COVID hit, everything was slowed down, everything was delayed, so I was I'm just going to have to stop it. So that was one thing that really hit because those hoodies were selling really well. And I was also getting ready. On campus, there were two big things going on. One of them, there was an entrepreneurship week.
Yeah.
Where I was gonna speak on the panel because of my business. So I was trying to get some stuff ready that I can bring to the panel. And then the Catwalk Cartel was having a fashion show.
Yeah, I was supposed to host that.
And they asked me to make clothes for them. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I can put more money into it because I know what's coming out of it. So I was working really hard. I was putting a lot of money into it because I'm like, I'd rather pay more money and have it look good than to settle.
Of course.
And make it look cheesy.
Yeah. Pay full
so
price.
I put a lot of money into it, and then COVID hit, and then they were like, yeah, we're not going back to school. And I was like, damn. And I was getting ready for Cuts Patties too. So there was a whole bunch of stuff that I was getting ready for, and then COVID hit, and then like all I had to pretty much just trash all that stuff. So that's pretty much how 2020 hit me.
Just another setback for.
But honestly, it kind of I guess there's like a lesson in everything. Like people say that, but like until it really happens, you don't really, you know what I mean? You don't really believe it.
Yeah. What would the lesson be for you then?
Man, the lesson in that situation would be that I just need to slow down. Like I felt like the brand was kind of getting too big for my own head, if that makes sense.
Okay. Like managing it or
no, just like in my head, I was kind of thinking like, oh, I'm the shit type of way.
Of course. And
I feel like that just made me think, oh, I can push anything out and people are gonna fuck with it. And when everything stopped, like I sat down and I thought about it, and I'm like, none of this shit I was making is like good. It seemed like it was all just like a cash grab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather make no money, or I'd rather make little money on some really, really dope items than to make a lot of money on shit that no one's gonna care about.
And you know why I think you came up with that finally? I think you already knew that, and I think part of the danger, and it be speaking for itself, that's always been part of the motto. Like, we're always gonna preach, the art and preach, getting it to you the most efficient way rather than getting the cash grab. So that's great, being an owner.
When I think back on it, I'm like, I'm kind of happy that none of this stuff happened because I feel like I would have pushed out a lot of BS. You know what I mean? There would have been a lot of BS out there, and I feel like that could have tainted the brand. Also, during 2020, I drove to Georgia to get this printer. Mm-hmm. I got the printer. It's one of those things where it's like if you're like the way I set up my business, I do it made to order. So made to order means I don't keep a lot of stock. I feel like if you keep a lot of stock, you can't move forward.
Yeah.
Which is also why I wanted to own my own equipment. Because if I go to you and I'm like, yo, I need 50 shirts, and, you know what I'm saying, 10 of them are mediums, and I sell all the mediums, but people want more mediums, and I have smalls, larges, XLs to sell.
Like
I have to go, you know what I'm saying? I have to spend more money to get more mediums, and then the season's over, and I'm still sitting on all this stuff, so it's like...
Facts.
How can I move forward when I still have to make my money back on all the other clothes that are sitting in my inventory? So made to order means once I get the order, I let people know, hey, it's going to be 3 to 5 days before you get it. Yeah. I get the order that same day. I order whatever garments I need. Mm-hmm. I get it in, I make it, and I ship it out. The thing about that is that it costs more to do that than it does the inventory. But then, like I said before, it ends up costing less. Because if you don't sell everything, you know what I mean, then you're losing money.
I agree. And so I see what you mean. It's like, instead, because you're not selling in bulk or not buying in bulk, it will be a little bit more expensive.
It's a little bit more to order every single individually.
But you don't have any waste in the back end.
I don't have any waste at all.
Yeah.
Or another good example is, let's say I make a collection that flops. If I was to go to someone else to get it made for me, if it flops, I'm sitting on a whole collection. But if I make something, I make all the clothes for myself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if I don't sell anything, then I don't lose any money because whatever I spent, it's just going towards clothes that I'm wearing on myself. You know what I mean? I don't have to make 10 hoodies and 15 sweatpants and 10 hats and then sit on that. I could just make one of each, I know I'm gonna wear it myself. So if it flops, then it's out there if people want it.
Yeah.
It's always available, and I don't have to worry about losing any money. So, I went and got the printer, but that printer is made for like businesses that are like constantly printing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So long story short, it ended up being a waste of money. I dropped like $3,500 into that printer, and then I drove to get it. I ended up giving it away to, there was like a kid in KU who like had his own business. He said he wanted it. I was like, are you sure you want it? Like, have you looked into it? But I was like, honestly, if you want it, just take it. I'm not gonna charge for it. Like, the lesson, like it taught me, the thing that I got from that is that I'm willing to do what I need to do for the business. Yeah. Like, I'm willing to drive 12 hours to Georgia and 12 hours back. Like, 12 hours to only be there for an hour and a half and drive 12 hours. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
dedication for
I'm
real.
willing to, like, that to me was that lesson was worth more than the money that I spent on the printer. Like, actually being able to look myself in the mirror and tell myself, are you going to be willing to do what you need to do for the brand?
Facts. And that's, you know, you're now in 2020 and you're doing this for, you know, almost 2 full years.
Yeah, almost 2 years, man. It flies, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, man. It's just, it feels good to just be creative. Like, I have so many things that I have this big whiteboard and I have a whole bunch of stuff I just write on it. And
that's tough.
Some things I don't even get to. Some things I just put before other things, and it's like, it's like I feel like remember how they were saying Juice WRLD had like 15,
yeah,
like a super large amount of songs
in the laptop,
and it's like how do you put together a 15, 20 song album when you have 1,500 song library to pull from? That's how I feel sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I need to tell myself like, whoa, like, you just dropped something, bro. Like, just let it breathe a little bit. Yeah, you're still doing. You know what I'm saying? It's still selling. Like, let it breathe. You have your chance. There's no need to rush. Like, the big brands have been doing it for years. So just, you know what I'm saying? Take your time and just do what you got to do.
I like that last part about not rushing it. You know, and that's why this next question is gonna be ironic. You know, what's the future plan now? What can you tell the people? You know, what to be looking out for with Danger going into the next season? Well,
the one thing about Danger to me, like when people talk about streetwear, right?
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays streetwear is more fashion forward.
I agree.
To me, streetwear is something that you, like, if you're running late to school, something you would just throw on that you would look kind of nice in, but you used to be comfortable in just to go to school.
It's like the roles reversed. Now the streetwear is the fashion.
Like, yeah, to me, the way when I think about streetwear, I think about just some comfortable clothes that look cool. You could dress it up, you could dress it down, and it just, you know, that's what it is. Like, it doesn't have to be. To me, streetwear is something you can wear every day. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that is called streetwear, but it's like, are you really gonna wear that shirt every day, or are you gonna wear it once in a while when you go to the club? Yeah, should it be streetwear if you're wearing it in the club? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely.
So that was always kind of the reason why I was just doing like simple. You know what I'm saying? Like the logos weren't too crazy, the designs weren't too crazy. It was just like a nice looking hoodie that if someone wants to wear it 2-3 times a week, it's not gonna be like, oh, you still wearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. But I kind of, now that I'm like getting older, I guess more mature, I want to start getting into more like premium stuff. You know, better fitting garments.
Okay.
More expensive stuff, like heavier cotton. So for the next season, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is like, back in high school, I didn't have like a winter jacket when it was cold. I just couldn't afford one. So I would just double up on my hoodies.
Right.
So in my head, I'm like, yo, that would look so cool if I made like a hoodie that was like doubled up the way I used to do it back in high school, because that's streetwear to me. So it's like I have some double layer hoodies. So this is like really warm. It's 2 hoodies. But it's this right here. It has some like applique stuff going on. So like this blue right here is not on top. It's like from the actual hoodie.
Logo's looking clean too. So it's going perfectly.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
No doubt. No doubt.
So yeah, doing stuff like that. I'm working on some pants. People have been asking for joggers since I started Danger, joggers and hoodies. But anyone could just take the Danger logo and put it on a pair of joggers and say, here, Danger joggers. The reason why I haven't put it out yet is because I don't want it to just be that. I could have easily, I could have easily just went to the store, got some Gildans,
just slapped it,
and just slapped it on the side and been like, "Here's Danger." I want them to look good. Like I want them to be a pair of joggers that you would really want to wear,
right?
And that you feel like you can wear and dress up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So I finally settled on some designs that I have coming soon. I'm doing some flannel stuff. Putting my own little like embroidery twist on that.
Word.
I'm doing some things with like hockey jerseys and things like that. I want to get into like vintage hockey. I feel like those jerseys back in the day look really cool. I have like a small little like camo collection that I'm doing. And I guess the big thing I can tell you guys just now, but on Black Friday, I'm dropping beanies and I'm adding a customizer to the website.
Yes, sir. Talk about the website, man. Real quick. That's jumping right now. Jumping.
Yeah, it is. So the website is www.dangerbrandofficial.com. But the first website I had was like .shop. It was like, it just didn't feel like a legit website. So I was able to get like a .com because that just seems like more of a real website.
Yeah, I want to commend you for that for real too, because a lot of people, they'll make a quick website. And
that's kind of how it was at first.
I like how it's now set up. It's much easier to buy stuff.
That was a goal of mine, was to really get the e-commerce looking right. Like that's the first thing people see. If you go on a website and it looks crappy, you're not gonna scroll through it and try to buy something. You're just gonna click out of it and say, "No, I'm good."
Word. Agreed.
But yeah, so a big thing I'm doing is I'm adding customizers to the website. Because I can make everything myself, I realized that since I've been doing this, I've made a lot of things that, for people specifically, that I wasn't selling to everybody.
Yeah. And
I'm like, why do I keep... Not saying I don't want to do that, but it's like, obviously people have their own styles of what they want to see.
Agreed. Yeah.
So instead of me trying to push my own colors that I think are cool, why not give them the opportunity to make what colors they think are cool? It's like if someone wants a triple black Danger hoodie, which is all black, or someone wants whatever colors they want, they can do it themselves. So they don't have to come to me and DM me. They could just go on the website. I think it's only gonna be like $5 or $10 more, and you could just do whatever colors you want for Danger. So that's gonna be a big step.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I'm excited for those joggers. I'm definitely gonna be the first one to cop up.
There's a few more things, but I can't spill the beans too much.
Of course, never spill. But you could definitely find him. Let him know your Instagram as well.
_Dangerbrand_.
Yeah,
that's the IG.
It's the Dangerbrand, man. I got one more question to you before we leave out, but before you do, just want to thank my man Nate. I knew him for about 3 years. So when I was a freshman in Kutztown, I've definitely been rocking Danger like it's sleepwear, streetwear for sure. So
he's a part of the Danger fam.
Yeah, man.
Performing and all that. He had the custom shirt, all that.
I got it in the washer right now. I'm about to probably wear that this weekend, but for just not even just for the giving the Danger stuff out, just for continuing on your path of figuring yourself out in your journey. And my last question to you is for anybody else out there that may be want to start up their own business, whether it be clothes, music, any sort of entertainment, or just a job. What piece of advice can you give for them to keep going?
I would say make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. If you do it for the right reasons, then the choices you make will lead you to success. If I was doing this for the money, there's so many things that I wouldn't have done. You know what I mean? If I was only doing this to make a profit, then there's so many things that I have done that have been away from me making money that I wouldn't have done had it been for money, and I wouldn't be where I am today.
Word.
I care about this for, my mental health. I care about this for just a passion of being creative. And me just trying to think outside the box and be who I am is obviously translated to people liking the brand. So if I was getting into it thinking, I could just be another Supreme or I could just be another Nike, then people are going to be able to pick up on that, and they're going to,
word.
It's not going to be as creative if I'm just trying to be another brand. But if I'm trying to be unique, then it's going to stand out. So no matter what it is, whether it's clothes or food, or if you're on YouTube, or if you're, if you're doing games, just find the real reason why you're doing it and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. And it's going to definitely help.
Hey, man. Nate, Danger fam. Dangerbrand.
Let's go.
We got him here. Thank
Season
you for
5
that.
on the way.
Yeah.
MLB hats, Danger MLB hats.
Oh, I'm copping that as
Out
well.
tomorrow, Halloween, spooky season.
Yeah, spooky season. Shout out to everybody. Happy Halloween. Stay safe. You're back on the Cozy Show. Thank you for tuning in for this interview. We got many more coming up. You're gonna see him many more times. You're gonna see me every single time you see me.
Let's do it.
Stay dangerous. Stay cozy, man.
All right, bro.
Have a great day.
You too.
That was a good one.